Yo, hey guys, Ken Perryman here, and I am back again with another product, and it's in this guy right here. And just so we know that this is not sponsored, I purchased this myself. Now, you probably can't see very well inside my Jeep, but I'm setting it up for overlanding, camping kind of stuff. And I've got this big, old, hefty rack back here. I also have a tent. I'm gonna have a refrigerator. I've shown in other videos. I've got a bunch of stuff in here that I'm going to get going on in camping, but I need more shelf space, I guess. And the intent is this guy right here from Hook Road is that very shelf. It sits up about here. So I'm gonna have this, and I brought this out. I just purchased one of these guys. I might get a couple more. They're rather large size containers, but I wanna be able to fit this at least. I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of room with this, but I'm gonna have to put something like this, maybe even double. I don't know, we'll see. I originally had planned putting my Allpowers 2500 battery system right here. The problem is it won't clear this lip, which I'm afraid that once I put this shelf on, it definitely won't go in here. It's a problem for another day, no big deal. What we're gonna do here is I am going to assemble, and we'll figure it out on another day on how I'm going to stock all this in here. I've already realized that there's some larger containers that I'm using that I won't be using in the future. Unfortunately, they just take too much space, so I'm going to have to consolidate into something like this. Not the issue for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about how, according to Hook, as they say here, you can't see it all, but it says make a difference. I'm hoping it'll make a difference in my shelf space. Without further ado, I've spent enough time talking about it. Let's go ahead and get what's inside the box, outside the box, and assembled. Let's get started. Cool. All right. As you might suspect, there is a shelf. Oh, and then there is, check it out. You get a couple stickers and the instructions. Okay. Let's check. Okay, please don't be down here. It feels like it should be up here, right? I will tell you this, make sure you do not trap your seatbelt in here. Let's see if it's the other piece. And more importantly, I am not comparing or verifying the sizes or the sides. I could be way off. There are no identifying marks to say which is which. Now this is not going to point down. Okay, now this feels better for some reason. Please be this one outside. There is some gap there, and there should be some gap so that when it locks in, it doesn't move anywhere. So let's check out the instructions. That's what we should do first. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's just like in their video, but where lock washers, nuts, okay, that all makes sense, right? Okay, and then you put the other side brackets on. Wait. Yep, so these do kick out, so that is the correct one, which means this guy should be, the fire extinguisher cannot be there. No. All right, so here we are. We're back at it. The nut size is going to be a 10 millimeter and a 14 millimeter are the best that are going to fit. The 14 has got a little bit of a slight looseness to it. Allen wrenches, guys, you're just going to have to find the right Allen wrench. I don't know the size of this guy right here. I apologize. Because unfortunately, I think the size that I'm looking for in my kit, I'm going to have to buy a whole new set of Allen wrenches. What I'm saying is I'm missing this guy. So I don't know what size that is, but you're going to have to find the right Allen wrench. And then I found, of course, out of my kit, which might be in the wrong slot. It doesn't matter. Find the right Allen wrenches. They'll fit. You're going to need two different Allen wrenches along with two different nut sizes to lock it in. According to the instructions, which are fairly clear for the most part, it is written by someone else who probably does not speak English as their native tongue. But the instructions make sense as you walk through. So I will let you know that they do give you just enough product to cover the assembly. So what I mean is they don't give you extra like some places. And I don't know if it's embedded in one of the foam pieces or not. I can't tell yet, but there's no tools that come with this. So that's fine. I'm just setting expectations. There's nothing wrong with that. Just some companies will provide the tools with it. This one did not come with those tools, and you will need your own set of Allen wrenches that will fit inside here. And as well, you'll need your own box style wrenches to lock those in. So all good to go. With the tools, I've preset them so that you have the lock washer, then the washer, and then the threading, and then you'll put the lock nuts at the bottom or the side or wherever it is according to the instructions. Just pre-setting them up so I'm ready to go. I've prepared, as I said previously, the washer, lock washer, bolts assembly. I've pre-assembled those so that they're ready to go. So what we're going to do is after you've reviewed what side it goes where. So you'll be able to tell these point up and they're onto the outside. So which means that this guy must be here. And from the description, it doesn't say where specifically, but I can... don't do that. But I can tell that right above what appears to be the bolt that goes in for the plastic piece here. You can't see what I'm pointing at, but there's a little bolt here that's holding the plastic piece on. There's a divider line between two pieces of plastic. I think it's gonna ride over that. It says find the C-pillar, recommend to install it in a half C-pillar at the beginning. I don't know what that means. I think what they're saying is find it in the middle and set it there and then adjust as you need. I believe that's what they're saying. So in the middle, to me, there's this little line right here in the plastic piece. I'm gonna bifurcate, wrong word, but I'm going to ride the middle of that and put those on. According to the instructions, yes, you'll go down through the holes and then put the bolts on the underside. Now, good, didn't crack the window or anything. That would be crazy. There is the bracket, and I believe these look like they're universal because they have to ride to the outside, and if that's true, then you can flip it over and it goes on the outside there. So again, you may not be able to see it, but there's a seatbelt track there. This goes underneath. What I mean underneath is the seatbelt. You should not entrap the seatbelt. Don't. Your seatbelts won't work for your passengers. That will not be fun. That's not too shabby. All right, that doesn't seem too bad. Let's go ahead and get on over to the other side here. Same thing. Now, there are 4 sets of bolts in here, or there's 3 sets of bolts in here. One, and according to the instructions, there's a typo. They say that they're, what did they say? They are M8s by 20s. They're not. These are M8 by 25s. You can tell they're longer. These are the M8 by 20s. Here's the M8 by 25s, and actually that looks like 30s. But the point is, the longer ones go in these upper brackets. These shorter ones are gonna go in another place. Get the longest ones, set them up, nuts and washers, and let me move my first aid kit out of the way. Let's go ahead and get you down to about here. And like I said, do not trap your seatbelt. Wunderbar. It's time for these guys. Okay, so you'll go over here. Now it says install. Okay, so now we got to put, it says to put this in there. I don't think you need it right away, but let's do it. Okay, all right, so that's done. Now, I don't know if I'll need the same power tools for the smaller guy here, but let's just see if I have it, because that would be nice. Okay, so it's gonna go on the inside of this plate, but the shelf's gonna point out. The L's gonna point out. Is that correct? That is correct. Let's get this in, and I do like that this has the ability to float, which means we can adjust the shelving as we see fit, up, left, down, right, and then I have, actually, there it is over there, I do have a level type device that I can utilize to set my shelf. And that's about as high as it's gonna go right there. That's about as low as it's gonna go. And it can go a little bit higher, right? I can go up by yay, and I can go down. And I think I'm gonna have to come down, maybe even angle it to get it in there, and then go up after it's in there. That's my idea. It is going to be top down, right? Yes, okay. What I mean by that is that these are going to shoot down and we're going to attach the nuts from the bottom side. That's what they said. I see the holes that I must attach and I see the shelf. I know for a fact this is going to be a dance. Oh, please don't rip my fingers off. Like I said, it's not heavy. It's just so awkward. Let's take a shot. Are you kidding me? Man. Let's pull you out. Let's see. Okay, so let's find the holes. Okay, now, number one, that fits in there just fine. The question though is will it fit in there? Oh my, it will. Okay, so I can fit 4 of those in there. So how about that? I am pleasantly surprised by this, by its amount of weight. Now, this is not full. I do not expect it to be overly full, but I do anticipate having to put it in like so. And I could put, yeah, 1, 2, wait, is that right? 1, 2, 3. And then I could put them up to the edge because this guy, I could put 6 of these in there. So going in like so, I'm trying to simulate if this was full, should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a 6th on the far outside, yeah. Now let me go ahead and get you guys off of here real quick and walk you around this because this is really cool. All right, so obviously never mind the tools and whatnot, but I have my lock for my fridge and stuff, or whatever valuables I decide to lock in. Got a lot of places to hook and latch certain things. I can even do the same thing up here, but now here is the hook road shelf up inside the Jeep. Now I did take and push those up. So I probably have those 7 inches or maybe less. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back. Now you're supposed to use 2 hands, and I'm gonna try that. Hold on. So we push that back, and then this will slide down. Now I have little grooves here. I have these grooves here. I can put some pouches or connect some hooks to it. I can even leave it down and let it dangle if I need to. And then there's room inside this shelf. So let's check what we have for room. But let me just show you this, right? I have this upper shelf. I have this bag, which is approximately, I think it's like 6 inches itself, maybe close to 7. We'll check those dimensions here in a second. But as you can see, the bag fit just fine in here. And then with this shelf drop down, I can bring this back here. And as you can see, I can tilt it down and it'll slide out as long as the bag isn't super rigid. Now, of course, nothing on the shelf. I'm just thinking about a daily driver. Let's check. That is not too bad at all. All right, so opening this up, here we are with my regular shelf that I was talking about before. Got my step stool over here. I've got the upper shelf. And of course, if I leave this down, this is gonna block some of my vision, but I have a decent amount of vision back here. And I'm surprised, I'm pretty happy. I have now a second set of, or a third layer, basically. I've got the main floor, I've got this upper shelf that I can put some items in here. And of course I've got this upper shelf to put chairs and maybe some sleeping bags and some smaller squishy type material in here to get me some space in here. Now, one last thing we're gonna do is let's measure the space. So there was 7 inches they stated. Actually, I have 8 inches. So I guess I could have pushed this up higher, up these arms. And I could, but I like where it's at. Because if I push back further, I'm gonna bump up against the plastic in the back there. So I have, well, hold on. Okay, there you go. I have 7.25 inches. Okay, that makes more sense. I have about 7.25 inches. I have 7.25 inches of space because of this middle ridge piece. But, see, there's a middle ridge piece. But once you move up to here, yeah, I'm sitting a smidge under 8 inches. So I lose 3/4, half an inch range due to this. I don't know if you can see it. There's a metal support beam that runs through the backside here, which is fine. It just means that if I have something that's a little bit taller, like this bag just floats right up underneath it, just underneath it. Now, if it was overloaded, a little bit extra push, it might have a problem getting through there, but everywhere else, I am perfectly fine. Now, let's see what we have over here on the edges. Yeah, 7.5, yeah, okay. So let's pull this out, and I do like this. That's as far as it goes. And you just lock it in. It's basically finger-esque tight, right? Okay, so I have this shelf here. Now let's measure from the inside of the shelf, and I actually have a cloth. Let's move the cloth and go from the metal here to top. And that's 1 foot, let's just call it 1 foot because I have this bridge underneath. So I have 12 inches of space from inside the shelf up to this supporting bridge underneath. Now this guy is obviously another inch in the way, but again, you'll have to work your space around it. And then even further back here, you have an added inch of space to work with. So you got 13 inches back here. And then from here, you have, so you're looking at 20-ish inches. I mean, I've always had that. I'm just saying I have 20 inches from here. And then they said, was it like 31 or so? So 24, 31, 32-ish inches that I can work with. There's nothing to work with. I don't have 32 inches from here to here because this shelf's in a way. But again, that's just for those that don't have this middle shelf. 32 inches from about here to the floor. And it seems to be great. I'm quite happy with how this may end up working out. Well, this guy will hold up to 300 pounds and it's not moving if I put a lot of weight on here. This guy has a little bit of a flex. That's fine. I don't plan to put much more than medium weight stuff in here. Kitchen accessories, sleeping bags, your sight chairs, stuff like that. Things that will go in here and fit just fine. And then, of course, loosen her up, slide it back, have your access. I like it. I am really happy of the purchase. So for the price of this, with all this metal that's involved, the biggest, most awkwardest point of this whole deal, I think, is that putting the shelf in, single person. But I did it, you watch, not that much a problem, a little bit tricky, but don't worry about it, it'll work. All right, so this is a thumbs up. This is gonna stay in the Jeep forever, I think, for as long as I deemed it capable with all the things that I have going on here. So I really do love this, guys. I hope this was helpful for you. I do appreciate your time, and I'm out.